Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I did kind of give an introduction outside, but I don't know if everyone heard me. My name is Mr. Patel, one of the deputy heads here. I normally invite Mayflower in every year, and we normally have one Abdul Hameed who always speaks to himself. One Abdul Hameed will obviously give him a bit more of an introduction by himself. He will be speaking to you for the next 20 minutes. It is a very short time, but I have promised the students they may have an opportunity to ask some questions at the end. And I really want everyone to contribute. Okay? Have a fantastic 20 minutes.
Alright guys, first and foremost, welcome to Madani Schools Federation and good morning. Thank you so much for you guys coming and checking this place out. I've got a lot to get through this morning and we have a very short time. So I apologize if I'm going really fast. I'm going to try to get through as much as I can. Along the way, if you have questions, I'll try my best to answer your questions at the end. Now, when we were going through the mosque, one reason why I have to be quiet is because some people actually staying in the mosque in these last 10 days of Ramadan, so probably catching up on some rest, and they have a long day of worshipping God. Now, we saw some features in the mosque. We have prepared some pictures and took a few snaps to actually explain some of these features. What I would like you guys to do this very quickly is, as you see some of these features, point something out to me, and I'll try my best to explain it. Right? Whatever feature can you see? And think, what is it? Yes?
The top thing that says Muhammad.
This thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you zoom into that, this here is calligraphy in Arabic. It's fancy writing in Arabic. And simply, this is what's called a testimony of faith. For us to be a Muslim, we believe that we have to say this statement and believe in it. In Arabic, it's La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, which simply means we believe that the only God is Allah, and we as Muslims believe that the Prophet Muhammad is God's final messenger. Interestingly enough, as Muslims, we have to believe in all of the prophets of the Bible. We have to believe in Abraham, we have to believe in Noah, we have to believe in Jesus, a very important figure for us as Muslims. So this just reminds us as Muslims our belief in God. This is still for decorational purposes. It's not necessary to have any of these features that you will see in this mosque. You can worship God any way you like, as long as the place is clean. So some mosques will be very different to one another. So that's called the kalima. Right, what else can we see? Go for it.
Allah and Ar-Rahman.
Excellent. So if you see at the top, I don't know if some of you guys noticed that, is you have this cool fancy little board at the top. And again, this is for decoration. We believe, if you have celebrities, for example, like Usain Bolt, who's finishing his career, and we appreciate him for being the fastest man on earth, running 9.52 seconds or so. We get to understand people through adjectives. Fastest man on earth. We believe is that in order to understand God, and that's a bit distracting, isn't it? I apologize. Just show it away somewhere. It's cool. And we believe is that to understand God, we have to understand God through His qualities. So here, these are the names of God. He's the most caring. He's the most loving. He's the most forgiving. So these are we believe that God has 99 adjectives to describe His mercy. So we just use that for decorational purposes that will stick around the mosque. Yes? The chair? Okay, this is a cool one. Have you guys been to the church yet? Have you visited the church? Some of you have?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, when you go to the church, you'll see that there's something similar, not looking exactly like this, but somewhat similar. It's called, what is that place called where the priest will stand when he's delivering a message? It begins with P. Pews are with the benches where you guys are sitting, where the priest will stand. Anyone? Anyone can shout it out. You don't have to stick hands. Anyone? Pulpit. Excellent. So our pulpit here is where the priest will stand. This is our equivalent here. That the imam will stand there and he'll deliver a message. So today is a special day for us. It's a holy day for us. It's Friday. For Christians, it's Sunday. For the Jews, it's Saturday for Sabbath. But for us as Muslims, our blessed day is Friday. As an imam, I will be delivering a message to my community in English for 20 minutes. Then I'll be leading the prayer. And we can have up to 1,500 people attend. And that's still limited. If we open it for the whole public, we'll have more than 2,000 people attending. So it's a really cool time. And again, why I'm there is because to make sure I climb a few steps to make sure I'm visible for everybody. We also have cameras in there and we have TV screens so people upstairs can also see. So that's called a mimbar in Arabic, where I deliver my message. Right, what else can we see? Go for it. Yeah? I can't hear you. The microphone, yeah, so this is a cool feature. Anybody know? Obviously, what microphone is for. If you can just mix it up between the schools. Yes.
When the imam does the prayer,
Yeah. So when I'm praying or when I'm reciting, obviously I don't have to shout. So when I'm praying, all of these speakers here are connected, including all of our students. In the school, we have 600 students, boys and girls, plus 100 staff. Every day, Monday to Friday, after lunchtime, we'll get together and do a prayer. Muslims pray 5 times a day, and we'll all come there. Instead of me shouting and losing my voice, we got a mic system which is connected to everyone. What else can we see? Let me go through a quick few pictures so you guys to see a few more features, and then we'll pick them up. Right? So this is what we were talking about earlier. You see that there, and I'll explain that. Right. I think this one's a cool way of looking through it. Is if you just 2 seconds. You can't see this through a picture, but this here is a semicircle wall. Muslims face Mecca when praying, which the compass direction is southeast. For example, in most Jews, within Judaism, when the most holy site for them is the Western Wailing Wall in Jerusalem. For the Christian community, it's a sepulchre, and the churches will be actually facing that direction. We as Muslims will be facing Mecca when we pray. So the whole building is towards that end. Something on the floor you can see. Can anybody notice anything on the floor?
That's the thing when you pray.
Excellent. Some cool little zebra stripes on the floor. When we pray, it's a physical prayer, and we need to make sure we're standing straight, and our heels will be placed here, and everyone will be standing in straight rows, facing forward, that way. Right. Any other questions? Sorry. Any other features we can point out? Anybody else? If you can have them from here, go for it.
The circle is called the dome.
Excellent. Now you can't see this picture clearly, and I'm trying my best to show it to you guys. There's a huge hole in the ceiling. Did you guys see? When you missed it? Yeah. This is a dome, exactly. So again, this is not a necessary feature to have in a mosque, but it's just for decorational purposes. Some Muslims do believe, some scholars say that it helps Muslims to reflect of the universe, of how God's created everything, how vast the world actually is. And usually there are a lot of decorations up here. This one is pretty kind of bare. No. You can have the names of Allah around it too, but these are for decorational purposes. Sometimes you also see those big, long minarets in a mosque. There's long, massive pillars sticking out on the sides. Traditionally, this is where the call of prayer was given. So if I'm inviting everybody to prayer, the person would climb up there and call everyone to the prayer. Now we have fancy mic systems, so we don't need to really do that. But you'll still probably see some. Right, can we have some more features? If I can ask other students to... Any other features that I've missed out? Anybody wants to ask? Yeah, anyone? That? This stuff here? This here, I'll quickly point out a few features. This here is just a cupboard, and in the cupboard we'll have the Quran stored. The Quran is the most holy book we believe in. It's our version of the Bible. And it's about 850 pages. From the 300 boys we have in the school, 600 in total, from 300 boys, more than 150 of our students are actually memorizing the book in Arabic by heart. I myself have memorized the book, 850 pages. When I'm leading prayer, I'm actually praying from the Quran from my memory. Muslims pray 5 times a day, but during Ramadan, which is a blessed month that I'll be explaining later on, we'll have an extra prayer called Taraweeh, where we will be going at night and we'll be reading the whole Quran. The Imam will be leading and the whole place is packed up. Just yesterday we finished our whole Quran, 850 pages of 27 days, 27 nights that we will be praying. Now the funny thing is that obviously you're praying from memory, and sometimes you can just lose track of mind, or sometimes some passages are very similar. Moment I slip up, I have my students correcting me at the back. So you have to be really, really careful to make sure you know your passages properly. And we all make mistakes. So it's just a really cool way. In terms of, again, this is just decoration. Chairs here for some elderly people who may find it difficult to sit on the floor. Yeah, I think that's more or less everything. Anybody, did I miss anything out? Now, this is the mosque that we have as Muslims is a really central, important point for us. When we go to the mosque, we're able to sit there and meditate. We'll think about God. We'll go there and read Quran. If somebody has any questions, they'll book an appointment with me as an imam, and I can sit with them, and any problems they may have in life, or during the week, if people are struggling with something, or something's happened in the news, for example, as an imam, I'll have to make sure that I address what's happened to advise the community. Now, leading on to the next thing that I was going to discuss in between two, is that we've had, unfortunately, some students who are not able to join us. And it's really unfortunate, especially what's happening in the news, that some people are misusing the name of Islam and causing other people harm. And we've had some bad people who've done some very, very bad things. And I'm sure you're probably aware of what's happened here in the front news, where 22 people lost their lives in the concert. And we pray that hopefully we pray to God that God increases their ranks in paradise and blesses their family with patience. It is not permissible, it is in any way in Islam, to endanger anybody's life. The Quran says that if you were to kill just one person, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَتَلَ النَّاسَ جَمِيعًا, it's as if you've killed the whole of humanity. God values one person's life like the whole of humanity. And therefore, when innocent people are dying and bad people are using the name of Islam, it's important for imams, it's important for Muslims, and it's important for us as a community, Muslims and non-Muslims, to work together to create unity. So I hope, inshallah, when you guys do go back to your school, you're able to spread the message of what you're able to learn. But it's important to address these points. I'm rushing here, I do apologize. Before I move on to the next presentation of Ramadan, does anybody have any questions about the mosque in general? So if you just load the next presentation. Do you have any questions that I want to ask about the mosque? No? The next presentation will be based and focused on the month of Ramadan. I normally have an hour with the students, so we do this really slowly and we go through the mosque and do some activities. So I'm going to rush this as fast as I can. We are in the holy month of Ramadan. Muslims are expected to fast. Fasting means for us as Muslims that during daylight hours we are not allowed to eat or drink. Now, fasting is nothing new. Jews, the Jewish community, they have a day called Yom Kippur, the day of atonement, to seeking God's forgiveness. They fast for 25 hours in one go, a whole day plus an hour. Traditionally, the Christian community, according to the Gospels, they would fast during Lent, where Christians believe Jesus was tempted by the devil before he starts his ministry and preaching to people. Now, modern Christians may just stay away from some of their favorite foods. The idea of fasting exists in other traditions. In the Hindu community, for example, they have a restricted diet and they may not eat particular foods. For us as Muslims, we cannot eat or drink whilst for daylight hours. What that means is roughly the different timings, but we're looking about 2 a.m. till about 9:30 p.m. 18, 19 hours where we won't be fasting. And as you guys were coming into the school, you saw some of our students in the PE lesson. So our students will be doing PE. Our students will be in the GCSE exams whilst fasting. Now, we as Muslims, it is necessary for us to fast, but we don't encourage young people to fast. God does not expect people who are ill or not feeling well. If a woman is expecting a child, if somebody's really old, elderly, and they're struggling, they may have an illness. If somebody's traveling, there's so many conditions. Young people are not expected to fast. In fact, I don't encourage primary school students to fast either. I have a young daughter of mine who's 9 years old. Every year it's the same story with that. I want to fast, I want to fast, I want to fast. Like, no, you can probably do half fasts. You know half fasts, right? Like you go from miss a bit of breakfast till lunchtime, and only for the weekend when I'm observing them. And it's really hot days, and you may get dehydrated, you feel really thirsty, and it can also affect you in school. So I want to encourage people to fast for primary school students, especially during weekdays. If you want to do it on the weekend with your parents' permission. But let's quickly get. So this month is called the month of Ramadan. Now, Ramadan is the fourth of the 5 pillars of Islam. Let's do a quick count of our 5 pillars. There are 5 pillars, 5 important things in Islam. If I know our Mayflower students probably do know this, I'll let you guys start it off, and I'll allow the other school to finish it off. Right, the first pillar of Islam is?
Charity.
That's one of the pillars. It's not the first pillar, but charity is important. We give 2.5% of our wealth to poor people, and we have to do that. Right? Yes? Shahada. Shahada is the kalima, is to testify in the oneness of God, which is a pillar. Right? If we can have the other school who wants to join in. If we do know, Mayflower, if you give the other students a chance, or maybe you can share your answers with somebody next to you. If the Mayflower students can share the answers with our other students, and we can... Right, have you got one? Did you get one from them? What did they say? Zakah, which is charity, absolutely. Anybody else? Yes? Hajj. Hajj is a pilgrimage that Muslims will go to Mecca and will visit a special site, which we believe is the house of God. Just very quick at the back. Prayers, excellent. We have salah. So the prayer that we just had when we go to the mosque, Muslims will pray 5 times a day. And I think I missed something. Saum, Ramadan, our opportunity to fast. So these are the 5 pillars of Islam. So fasting is the 4th of the 5 pillars that we have. It's the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. We have 12 months in Islam also. What's interesting is that we follow the moon calendar in Islam, the lunar calendar. So the dates slightly are different, but we still also have 12 months. This is the 9th month that we'll be fasting. We also believe that Ramadan is important because the Quran, which is our special Bible, was revealed in this month. When I say revealed, God gave the Prophet this final book during this month. So it's really important for us as Muslims to draw a bond and a relationship with the Quran. And our students, like you saw when you came in, they were actually sitting there and praying the Quran. And it's part of our lessons that we have in school. That's the bell, not the fire bell. And in the case of a fire drill, we're going to make our way that way. I should have mentioned that earlier on. But, so our students, so we have what's called a tarbiyah lesson where we just sit there and we have an open Q&A. They'll ask absolutely everything and anything, including weird stuff. And I'll try my best to answer it. And then we'll go to the mosque and sit there and meditate and pray. So that's what you observe them doing. Right. So fasting, when people say, are you going to starve for 30 days? We don't starve for 30 days. What it simply means is, during, like I said, during daylight hours, we're going to stay away from food, including having no water, nothing. It can be very challenging. I think the most difficult fast I experienced was this week on Monday and on Wednesday. Really, really warm, and it was difficult. And we still have crazy students here who end up going playing football at lunchtime. We have to kind of bring them back in and say, you know what, rest. But they still want to play outside. So it's an amazing month. It's a time of spirituality. Let me quickly explain to you guys. Let me ask you guys first. What's the whole purpose of Ramadan? Why do we fast? Why do we fast? Yes?
To learn how to be patient.
Excellent. Well done. And what else? What's at the back there? Absolutely.
So to see how
Yeah.
it's like to not have
There are millions of people who have no choice but to fast because they have no food to eat. So it gives us an opportunity to think about them. One final one quickly. Absolutely, to thank God for the food that He's given us. But that's not the reason why we fast, all 3 reasons. The number one, your first answer was slightly linked to it. Remember this point. The only reason why we fast is to create a key word, and I'll explain it. It's called discipline. Anybody go martial arts here? Boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, karate? You guys do some excellent. What do you do? Kickboxing. How long have you been doing it for? Excellent. Any more kickboxers? What do you do? What do you for martial arts? Karate. What belt are you? Oh wow, I'll stay away from you. I love my martial arts. I've been doing martial arts for about 15 years. I don't know if you guys watch UFC, mixed martial arts. That's why I end up doing something. But the first thing that you learn in martial arts is discipline. How not to fight. How not to harm somebody else. How not to endanger other people's lives. How to be in control of yourself. The only reason we fast as Muslims is that we are supposed to, if we can stay away from food and drink for God's sake, that's the same discipline and control I'm supposed to show to stay away from God's disobedience. I shouldn't be harming other people. And therefore, when we have, even in this month, where we have bad people who are doing very, very, very bad things and harming other people, it's a disservice to our faith. These people do not even qualify to be Muslims. And it's a misrepresentation of our faith. But that's the whole reason why we're fasting. So to feel like how the poor people feel is a benefit of fasting. maybe to lose some weight is a benefit of fasting, maybe to teach you to be a bit more patient, and thank God are benefits of fasting. But the number one objective is to create discipline. So that's the reason why we're fasting. I'm just going to quickly speed this up. So we have, again, we have to tell our students, none of this, what's happening here? A Royal Rumble. Right? We need to make sure that we kind of keep calm, tempers can flare, and if our students can create discipline in this month, then we expect them to show the same discipline in the rest of the 11 months to come until the next Ramadan comes. And we sometimes have to remind our students, like, be fasting, chill out, relax, enjoy, like, get some rest. We don't want to get into any arguments. Right. It is not easy to fast, so like I said, young people are not expected to fast, elderly people don't fast, people who feel healthy enough to fast will be expected to fast. Now, again, as somebody mentioned at the back, it does give us an opportunity to think about those people who are struggling. There are millions of people who have no food. And also during this month, we will end up giving so much in charity. We will be giving so much money in charity to help the people who are in need, supporting projects around the world for Muslims and for non-Muslims. Our mosque has raised, just last year, raised £350,000 helping, and that's just our mosque here. With all the charities, it goes up into the millions. Just this month that we'll end up raising money for. Ramadan is a special spiritual month. Muslims attend the mosque more frequently and read the Quran more often than usual. Muslims make a special effort to act in the way Allah wants them to during this month. Meaning, every time we're supposed to act how God expects us to act, being kind, being loving, considerate, helpful, being extra nice to your neighbor. Maybe if you're breaking our fast and we share some food with our neighbor, that's part of our faith we were expected to do. Sharing our faith with other people that we're doing right now. Trying to be the best person that you can. This is like a training month for us. The Muslims that we should be, this is an opportunity for us to really think about what our faith means to us. Right, now this is a cool day, as your teacher pointed out to me. Sunday is our party day, hopefully Sunday. Where our Ramadan, our fasting is for about 30 days, and then God blesses us for a special day called Eid. Muslims have 2 Eids. This is like our Christmas times 2. 2 Eids. Right, so this is a time where we're not allowed to fast during this day, and we just party, we enjoy, we get gifts, probably new clothes, new shoes, a cool haircut, meet family members. Some of us probably even get more extra pocket money during this day. During this prayer, we have an extra prayer where we will be going to the mosques to pray. We have Spin Hill Park, we have Victoria Park, where the Imam will be leading the prayer this year. We have our scholar here who will be leading the prayer. Maulana Kauthar, who is also an Imam, and also a maths teacher, will be leading the prayer in the park, and we can have up to 5,000 people attending just that prayer in the mosque. In the park, huge massive tent. If you're driving past East Bank Road, you will see it. Right, so this is a day of Eid. It's a really fun day. We just have loads of fun, and also you get to miss school. Right. It's also an opportunity, as you mentioned at the back, to say thank you to God for everything that He's given us. It's an opportunity for us to raise our hands to the heavens and really pray for those people who are in need. We ask God to forgive our sins. We make mistakes. We ask God to make us the best Muslims we can. We ask God that He allows us to be helpful towards other people in other communities during this month. So we ask God many things every day. We have our students who will be meditating in the mosque, just engaging in prayer, asking God for the things that they want. Right, before I answer your questions, you're going to answer mine. If you are listening to this, we're able to figure this out. Right, we're going to do this per school. Mayflower, are we going to put your hands down? Mayflower students, put your hands down. Right, we'll alternate the questions. We'll have the other schools say, how long does Ramadan last? The month of Ramadan? 30 days, excellent. Okay, we still have Mayflower putting their hands down. During Ramadan, when do Muslims, what's the timing for the Muslims who have to fast, roughly? Roughly. Yes, go for it. Excellent. During the, does anybody remember the hours that I mentioned? The extra hours? Yes, go for it. Mayflower is fine. You remember the hours? Go for it.
19.
19 hours, excellent. So about 2 a.m. till about 9:30 p.m. that will end up fasting. Well remembered, excellent. Right. What's the name of the Islamic holy book that we have? Okay, a few. You guys are shatra all together. Quran! Excellent. Well done. That's the Quran. Why do Muslims fast? That one word, what's that key word? Shout out, you get shout out.
Discipline.
Discipline, excellent. To control yourself, to make sure you're the best person that you can be. And it's really important. And then finally, what's the Islamic festival called? You guys shout out. Eid. How many Eids do we have? Two. Excellent. You guys can have now. You can ask me absolutely anything you'd like. Any questions that you may have, fire away. Are we good on timing? How long do we have roughly?
You the group doing in about 5-10 minutes.
Oh, we have time. I rush this. Okay, that's cool. Any question? Are they here? Okay, double check. Yes. When you ask loud so everybody can hear.
If you ask Allah anything that, let's say you did something bad, will He forgive you?
Absolutely. We believe in Islam is that you can ask God for forgiveness and say sorry, and we believe God will forgive us. But it doesn't mean we keep on harming people. It means that we have to try our best not to make mistakes. But if we do make a mistake, obviously out of mistake, then we ask God's forgiveness. Now, if I've harmed, say for example, somebody has a pencil case, a really new, cool, shiny pencil case, and I just quickly snatch it and say, oh God, I'm so sorry. No. I have to go to that person, give their things back, say sorry to them first, and then I say sorry to God. God will not forgive me until this person's forgiven. Okay. So it's important that we... Oh, we have? Oh, excellent. Right, we have another question? Yes, go for it. Nice and loud.
Why are you only allowed to eat when the sun's going down?
Exactly. So we have about 9:30 till about 2 o'clock where we'll be like munching. But you know the problem is that when you fast the whole day, your stomach actually physically shrinks, so you can't eat as much. It's the worst time. I need to make sure I don't go shopping whilst I'm fasting because I end up buying the whole of Asda. Right, I need to make sure I have discipline. So what we normally do, we'll go to the mosque, we'll have some dates. Which is high in sugar, just to give you some energy. Drink some water to hydrate yourself. We go have a short meal, and then we'll come back to the mosque, have a long prayer, and then go back home, and then have a bit of a feast. Right, we'll have another question. Go for it.
Yesterday it was at the mosque. They broke the fast at the mosque yesterday.
Yeah, excellent. So we'll have all of these mosques that invite Muslims and non-Muslims. We can just go to your local mosque and just go there and have a meal, and it's really cool. We have a teacher in the school who's a very close friend of mine. So last year, you know how some of our Muslim students like really using Ramadan as an excuse not to do homework. So he set some homework for year 10 students. He says, oh, sir, we can't do homework because we're fasting. So he goes, you know what? I'm going to fast with you guys, and I can do my job, and so can you. So he fasted for 10 days. This year, he's fasted the whole Ramadan. The whole Ramadan is fasting, which for us is inspirational. I mean, when I'm struggling, I'm looking at James, and he's fasting. Last night, we went for a really cool meal, and just to share our iftar together. The meal that we have together at night is called iftar meal. So it's a really good opportunity to kind of mix and share our faith with other people. We're going to wrap it up. We're going to have one last question and we're going to wrap this up. If the other school would like to ask me any questions, and then I'll answer Mayflower if you have no other questions. Do you have any questions from the school? I'll give you another question. You have a question? Right, we'll have Mayflower quickly. One quick question. Go for it, nice and loud.
Medina, the green dome, Muhammad was buried in the green dome.
Absolutely. So we believe that the Prophet Muhammad has been buried in Medina, and we'll try our best to visit the location. You guys, thank you so much. I apologize if I have to rush this. I'm really, really, really sorry. You guys have been amazing. We're going to make way for the next half of the students to come. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for coming. Thank you.